Hello, kids. Today I am going to tell you a story about the fox and the grapes. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there was a clever fox named Felix. Felix was known far and wide for his sharp mind and curious nature. One sunny afternoon, as Felix was wandering through the forest, he came across a beautiful vineyard filled with plump, juicy grapes hanging from a tall vine. Felix's eyes widened with excitement as he gazed at the grapes. They looked so delicious and sweet that his mouth watered just thinking about them. Determined to taste these lovely fruits, Felix approached the vineyard and discovered a tall fence surrounding the grapevine. "Oh, those grapes look so tasty," Felix said to himself. "I must have some." Felix jumped up and tried to reach the grapes with his paws, but they were too high. He leaped and stretched as much as he could, but the grapes were always just out of reach. Felix wasn't one to give up easily, so he thought of another idea. He spotted a large rock nearby and rolled it over to the fence. Climbing onto the rock, he tried to stretch his paw further, but the grapes were still too high. Felix was feeling a bit discouraged, but didn't want to give up just yet. As he thought hard about how to get to the grapes, Felix saw a fallen tree branch on the ground. An idea sparked in his clever mind. "Maybe if I use this branch, I can knock the grapes down," Felix thought. He carefully positioned the branch so that he could use it to reach the grapes. Felix stood on the rock and used the branch to try to swipe at the grapes. He reached and reached, but the grapes remained just out of his grasp. His paws were getting tired, and he was starting to feel frustrated. After several attempts, Felix finally sat down on the ground, feeling exhausted. He watched the grapes sway in the gentle breeze, still hanging high above. As he sat there catching his breath, Felix began to think. "Maybe those grapes aren't as wonderful as they seem," he mused. "They are so high up. Maybe they're sour and not sweet at all." Felix thought about it for a moment and realized that he had been so focused on getting the grapes that he hadn't stopped to think about whether they would taste good. He decided it was better to move on and find something else to eat. With a new sense of determination, Felix left the vineyard and wandered into the forest. He soon found a patch of delicious berries and enjoyed a lovely snack. As he munched on the sweet berries, he felt content and happy. Felix learned an important lesson that day. Sometimes, things that seem out of reach may not be as perfect as they first appear. And it's always better to appreciate what you have, rather than obsess over what you can't get. From that day on, whenever Felix faced a challenge, he remembered his grape adventure and approached it with a wise and thoughtful attitude. And so, Felix the fox continued to explore the forest, finding joy and satisfaction in the simple pleasures of life. So kids, that's it for today. See you next time with another story.